So when you've played and covered a game as much as I have played and covered Ghost Recon, you eventually run out of, well, not necessarily out of ideas, you run out of significant things to postulate. So in this video today, I actually went ahead and I challenged myself to only play in third person for an extended amount of time. I wanted to figure out the ins and outs of it. It's not something I've really talked about before because I think third person is incredibly undervalued. I think it has a lot of, especially in my time after I've sat down and I've actually forced myself to play only in third person for quite a while, you kind of learn how to use it a little bit better than when you're messing around in between first person and third person. So anyway, let's go ahead and hop right into the video. So to begin talking about third person accuracy or playing in third person just in general, you first have to start with the basic statistics, which I mean in this case I wanted to compare the bullet spread between third person and first person, and they are actually perfectly identical. When you don't try to do any recoil management or whatnot in first person, the hipfire well, not the hipfire, but the ADS spread has actually turned out to be exactly the same, which is pretty cool. So it seems like the only difference between first person and third person is how you see your character and how you actually visualize the game, which may or may not be true in the long run or in some situations, because there's a lot of situations where I feel like in third person I completely melt people.
Straight at you.
Now in third person, the recoil feels a lot more manageable. You don't really feel the jerk of each bullet. I know when you're aiming down sight completely, when you're first person, you feel every single little bullet, which can be a good thing, can also be a bad thing because you can correct for mistakes, but it can also cause mistakes. I feel like it's an easier transition from running to shooting. So when you play in third person, you're staying in the same field of view. You can see the same characters. I feel like you can move a lot easier and you can run and gun a lot better in third person versus first person. When you're in first person, I feel like it almost disrupts the game flow slightly when you're moving or when you're trying to outmaneuver people in close quarter situations. Now with third person, it is harder to have pinpoint accuracy, but you might be fooled at times. Like in this clip I had on Cartel Depot, I landed a few headshots in third person on this Pathfinder from quite a distance away. It's almost no doubt, you can line up shots a little bit easier when you're looking at your sights. Now sustained fire on third person sucks. I feel if you're going to sustain fire, if you're going to be firing for a long time, unless you're Enforcer, you really don't want to do that. With the third person, you really only want to sustain fire if you are quote unquote barrel stuffing somebody. That means that you're shoving your barrel up their ass. Now sometimes it feels like your bullets just don't hit. There's plenty of times where I'm playing in third person and somebody's running and I am shooting at them and it looks like I'm dead on. In fact, I can see my bullets going through them, it looks like, and the bullets just aren't connecting. Now I don't know if this has to do with lag issues, server issues or whatnot, because this game is notorious for that at this point, but or if it has something to do with the game mechanics itself. I'm not too sure about that. Third person definitely has its place, especially even in a competitive setting. I would say it still has its place. It's something that I'm going to be implementing a lot in my own competitive gameplays, and when I play, I'm going to start off pretty much every match in third person, and I am going to do something that I'm going to call aim switching. There's not really a term I found for this, but it's basically going from third person to first person very fast while you're ADSing, hitting R3 while you're aiming. I'm going to call that aim switching. I haven't heard a better term for it. If you guys have a better term, please let me know. But that's something that I think you should get good at. I think if you're not decent at close quarters combat situations, or you're struggling up close, I think learning to aim switch properly can be a huge benefit, going from third person to first person very quickly, because when you're in third person you are already locked onto a target. So if you switch to first person, your sights are basically going to be dead on, and that's something we all want. So anyway, please let me know what you guys thought about the video. If I gave you something to think about, please let me know down in the comment section below. Any suggestions for future videos, please leave them down there as well. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.